We're gonna come down to the floor, lay like a pencil, and we are going to start with ankle circles. We are going to be here for 4 minutes, and I want you to try your best to stay in the movement for the solid 4 minutes. We're gonna have ankle circles, 1 minute in one direction, 1 minute in the other direction. Then we're gonna do flex and point. Then we're gonna move from the hip and go down and up with the hip. We're gonna try really hard to stay there for 4 minutes. Okay, bring your right leg into tabletop, shin parallel to the floor, and then start circling your ankle in one direction. It doesn't matter, either direction is fine to start with. And you can have your arm relaxed, like I'm just kind of gesturing with you. And we want to make sure that this leg is in a 90-degree hip fold as well as a 90-degree knee bend. And we want to keep our opposite leg nice and straight with our toes and our kneecap facing the ceiling. So that way everything is in alignment. We have 20 more seconds with the circle in this direction. You're gonna build up endurance. So take as many breaks as you need. Play with spreading your toes and pointing your toes at different parts of the circle so that you can really work all the tendons and ligaments in your foot. Now go the other way for a minute. We're gonna be here for another minute as we make that circle. You can also have your opposite foot flexed, whatever is comfortable for you. And then you just really want to try to make sure that you're keeping this 90-degree knee bend, and hip bend. We have 40 more seconds in this direction. It doesn't matter what direction you start with. Yeah, it's pretty challenging. You're gonna feel things start to turn on in your body that you probably haven't felt before. And the corrective exercise is really to help your body transfer energy through the joints, because energy moves through one foot, through the back of the leg, crossing through the hip, and then out the opposite temple and opposite hands. This is really good for us to do. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and then now we have flex and point. And by now, you should definitely be feeling that front shin muscle. When we develop this muscle, it really helps us going upstairs, prevents injuries, helps us from tripping, because sometimes these lower leg muscles get real lazy because of shoes or if we sit a lot. So this is gonna really help you with like daily life stuff. Now this hip flexor, oh my gosh, we are working so hard in the hip with all the small muscles just to maintain this position. Is not comfortable. So you can take breaks if you need to. I'm not gonna take a break. We got 15 more seconds, and then we're actually gonna be able to use that hip in the next exercise. Hang in there, hang in there, hang in there. In 5, 4, 3, 2, now hold the flex. This is really hard. Now we're moving from the hip flexor. So, oh my goodness, it feels like my leg weighs so much. Lots of work right here. So you want to maintain that flexed foot in the ankle. You want to maintain the 90-degree knee, and then you want to move from that hip flexor. This is pure hip function right here. Restoring the function of the pelvis. This is going to make all your other exercises so much easier. Whew. We got this, 20 more seconds. Easy peasy. You just want to keep your back nice and still. So if you can't go all the way down, that's okay. Keep your back flat on the floor. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and oh, we did it. So you can, oops, we can shake it out. Hi. Coco's gonna be 15 in October. You can't say no to him. And then this is Willow. They're the originals. They do a lot of things together. Okay. Are you ready? So we're gonna bring that leg up and start your circle. We have 1 minute of a circle. Find that 90-degree hip, 90-degree knee. You wanna keep your shin nice and still as you're doing this. You can flex your bottom foot if you want. We just wanna make sure that your knee and your toes are facing the ceiling of this non-working leg. 30 more seconds. And what's gonna happen is your dominant muscles are gonna start to take over. So you really wanna make sure that you find the symmetrical position, because that's what we're training. Just like functional, basic stuff. And our lifestyle, like whatever our repetitive moments are, those muscle groups are gonna take over. So you really wanna be aware that you're keeping the form. Now go the other way for a minute. So really feel that your kneecap and your shin are facing the ceiling. Your thigh is facing your shoulder. Woo! You're in parallel. Don't let yourself turn out like a ballerina. Very, very challenging. My left leg is a lot weaker than my right leg. 30 more seconds here, and then we're gonna have flex and point. So remember, you can take breaks. Totally take a break if it gets to be too much. And I'd rather you not bend this opposite leg, because that's gonna change the dynamic in the hip. Just take a break if you need to. Because here we're working with the opposite hip, not in flexion, while this one is. Okay, in 5, 4, 3, 2, and flex and point. By now, this front shin muscle, tibialis anterior, you should really be able to sense the shape of it. It kind of is bulbous, closer to your knee, and then almost like no sensation in the front of your shin, or just a very long sensation. We got this. Hang on to that hip flexor. Notice that you're staying in parallel. 30 more seconds. Really try to feel that flex and point through the ankle as best you can. This is really challenging, I know. We got 10 more seconds. We can do it, we can do it, we can do it in 5, 4, 3, 2, and then hold your flex. And now it's the hip flexor. So really do your best to keep the ankle stiff, your knee bent, and just move from the hip flexor. Keep your abs pressing down. You don't want your back to feel like a seesaw and come off the floor when your heel touches down. You want to try to feel flat in your stomach and in your back the whole time. Less than 30 seconds. And I always pretend I'm a toy soldier. We're really trying to keep that parallel position. No turnout at all. No ballerina legs. 10 seconds. Everything else is gonna be pretty pleasant. I feel like this is like the worst one. Oh, but it's so worth it. Okay, we did it. That was 4 minutes. Congratulations.